Hey guys, nice to see everybody. I appreciate you joining me here in the forest today, where we are going to be discussing the Condor Kephart knife. The reason I wanted to discuss that is I had one of my subscribers ask me a couple questions and said he was thinking about getting the Condor Kephart. Also, I have a lot of knives, guys. I have knives that I buy and I don't feature. I use them, but I don't do videos on them. I feel like going into the new year, it's as good a time as any to go back through the knives that I own, including the Condor Kephart, and revisit them, give some attention to them, feature them on some videos, and I think we'll have a lot of fun along the way. So the Condor Kephart, I bought probably about a year ago, I'm going to say. I don't know the exact date, but I've had it for quite some time, and I also did some short videos on this. I never did a full feature like I'm going to do today on the Condor Kephart. The first thing that I want to discuss, let me move a little closer here, and many of you already know, but Condor sheaths are outstanding. They are leather sheaths. There you see the Condor logo on the front there. You can see the stitching. You can see the riveting. You can also see the welting. One of my very favorite things about Condor knives are the sheaths. I love leather sheaths, and Condor sheaths are just great. A lot of people have said, and I believe it wholeheartedly, is that a lot of times for the cost of the knife itself, with the sheath included, a lot of times that sheath costs just about as much. So if you bought the knife by itself, went to buy a leather sheath, a lot of times that $35 to $40 is how much the sheath alone is going to cost. So you are getting an outstanding deal with the Condor sheaths, and I always take fix and wax to mine. You can use beeswax, you can use anything that you'd like to treat that leather. Leather polishing material, a lot of people use different things. I take fix and wax to mine. I just rub it in. I take a hair dryer to open up the pores. I take a hair dryer to it and rub it in, put a few coats on it. And this thing has been outstanding for the knife. I have had no problem with the sheath. I like where it hangs on the belt, and it's your traditional leather sheath, and I like it a lot. As far as the knife, guys, the Condor Kephart knife is 1075 high carbon steel. Most of the Condor knives that you're going to buy are 1075 carbon steel, as opposed to the 1095 that I usually do with more Knife Mondays. The total blade length, the length of the blade here is 4.5 inches. The total overall length of this knife is 9 inches. So 4.5 inch blade, 9 inch overall length. Hardwood handles. You can see the pins here, 3 of them. Full tang knife. The handle is quite comfortable. I am not one to sand down handles at all. I don't do that type of modification. This handle here has always been comfortable for me since I got it. I do like that it's full tang. I like that very much. Little bit of a hint of a finger guard there. But a lot of times, depending on the brand or the model or who makes it, it's kind of typical for Condor knives, or I'm sorry, for Kephart knives. The blade itself has a full flat grind here. Drop point blade design. And mine did not come with a squared off spine. I know some guys say that they have theirs, right when they get theirs, they come with a squared off spine and they're able to strike a ferro rod. I was not. So all I did was take a file to it, no problem at all. Also, you'll notice that if you look these up online, they come with a black coating. I actually took some sandpaper. I don't remember if it was 200 or 300 grit sandpaper, wet dry sandpaper from Walmart or Pep Boys or something like that. And I removed the coating that came with it. And then I forced a patina on there with apple cider vinegar. And I don't do perfect measurements. I just fill a glass up with apple cider vinegar and I put it in there and let it run its course. So you can see right here I have a couple of the lines where the apple cider vinegar ran right up into the wood handle. But that doesn't bother me at all, guys. That's how I know that I used apple cider vinegar on this particular knife. A lot of people, when they buy Condor knives, specifically let's say the Condor Kephart, because I've read complaints about them, I've watched complaints about them. A lot of people say when they buy them on Amazon or through other outlets, they get them back or they arrive in not great condition. You can check out Simon. He does a video on that and talks about his disappointment. I can just go into several stories, even from my own experience with the quality control issues of Condor knives coming out of El Salvador. The way to solve that problem, and I've talked about this before as well, guys, there is a tremendous website. It's called the Baryonyx Knife Company. A tremendous knife store, let me say, online. Baryonyx Knife Company, I'll put his link down below, where Benjamin actually inspects every knife that he sells and makes sure that they're good to go when he sells them. If there's any blemishes, if there's anything wrong with them, he either won't sell them or he'll put them up on his, I think it's called grade B items, at a lower price. So you know that you're getting the best and you're getting a product from Condor that was looked over very carefully. Unlike their quality control in El Salvador, Benjamin looks over every single one of those personally. He sends you a list. He has a certain point system that the knives need to meet, and he'll send that to you and let you know exactly how that went. So I think as far as specs, guys, that's about it. And where you want to buy your Condor knives, the Baryonyx Knife Company. I am going to get to doing some tasks on this. Let's have some fun with this knife, guys. Okay, let's get some of these pieces down into the smaller pencil lead size pieces, guys. Now this isn't your big survival knife, but it is an 1/8 of an inch thick, and it is a full tang knife, so it should be able to do some of the batoning that you want it to do. But so far not bad. I can tell the difference between the 1095, or I'm sorry, between the full flat grind here and the Scandinavian grind. But once you start working with it, you could pretty much adjust to anything. It's all in the adjustments, guys. It is feeling really good in the hand though, I like it. And I really like the drop point on this, which is also what makes it a good hunting knife. I'm not much of a hunter anymore nowadays, but this gives you those angles that you want to get into when working with game. You know, some of the main reasons why the Kephart knife in general is designed the way it is. Alright, that's done, guys. So the next thing we want to do is let's go ahead and make some feather sticks. Okay guys, this will be the one we use to light the feathers. Okay guys, so a lot of people had said that their spine came pretty sharp when they received their Kephart. Mine did not. It did not strike sparks well at all, and it didn't scrape wood very well at all. So in addition to scraping off the coating that was on there with sandpaper and forcing the patina with apple cider vinegar, I also took my file to the spine. and sharpened it up really well, so it's very, very sharp now. So this knife will now scrape wood and strike a ferro rod, no problem. So our next step of the fire, let's show that. What I have is some bark here, some of this pine bark that we're going to use as part of our fire. And we're just going to take our piece of wood here and scrape it down. So there we have our pile of fine shavings, and I'm just going to grab some of these feather sticks that fell off while we were making our feather sticks. Okay guys, right there is the area that I cleared out. I used our cold steel shovel. Back here is the brace. On the bottom here is pine bark that I ripped off just to keep the fire from being on the damp ground. Right near the brace you can see our fine shavings and some feathers there. Over here, which isn't the neatest pile, there's our cold steel shovel. There is our feathers. There's our pencil lead sized. There's our pencil sized sticks. Up there is our marker sized. Over there is our fuel. Not starting a big fire at all, and this will serve us just fine. And then I have a couple of feather sticks here that I left the feathers attached because those are going to assist us in getting the fire going.